Hi, it's Darlene, psychic medium, aka your spiritual wellness guide, which is what I like to be referred to as, because I love to bring healing and peace, answers, and closure to so many. So I'm so glad you're here. As you know, in the last video, we discussed the 3 types of gifts I have, right? And the question was, are you gifted? Are you psychic? Is anybody psychic? Is everybody psychic? And the answer is yes. We all have psychic abilities. In psychic abilities, meaning, have you ever had a bad feeling about something and suddenly you got a phone call and the person you were thinking about maybe had an accident? Or have you ever been just thinking about a long time friend that you hadn't seen maybe in 20 years and then poof, they call you out of the blue? Well, it's the same thing. We all have that intuition. That's all it is intuition, okay? You don't have some kind of crystal ball and looking through and having the whole Ouija board and the seance and everything. It's not like that. Everybody, if you would just open up your heart and your head and your energies, we can all communicate. Psychically and telepathically, believe it or not. There's 3 ways that I communicate with spirit. They show me for my gifts is, number 1, I get images, like a snapshot photo. The other one is, a lot of times I get full movie reel clips. It's like going back in time and looking at an entire scene that I'm able to describe in great detail. Another thing, my main thing, is telepathic communication. Your loved ones will talk to me telepathically, and they'll give me messages that only you can understand. I can't understand. It could be something so random, but I'll give you names, times, dates, events, and even if you don't understand them at first, I always make people write things down, because I want to show you later on that I'm usually spot on. I have people call me, it could be an hour later, it could be days later, and go, wow, I'm so glad I found that answer out. It turns out it was my deceased sister's anniversary of her death or whatever. So there's always significant meaning. So even if you don't understand it, it could be meant for somebody else in your family that's not with you at the time. So that's really, really important. But we all walk around with these gifts, and your loved ones are out there. They want to communicate with you. They want to let you know that they're okay, and that you don't have to be sad. You don't have to worry. You don't have to feel guilty. I even allow my clients to ask specific questions. And go ahead and ask a question, because they're listening, and I'll give you the answer 9 times out of 10. Sometimes people like to be really tricky though, and they like to give me like trick questions. And I had this one gal that said to me, when I said ask a question, she said, okay, who's Casper? And I had to think for a minute, and I was like, what? So I asked spirit, and turns out I said, so I looked at her, I turned around, and I'm sure a lot of you thought right away, Casper the friendly ghost. Yeah, I know, but no. So I looked at her and I said, who's the dog? And she said, that's Casper. And she was trying to trick me, because she was kind of doubtful about what I was doing, and I kind of freaked her out a little bit. But that's, that's a thing. Spirit will show me different signs, and your loved ones communicate with you all the time. And in some of my other videos, we're going to actually talk about that, probably in the next video, on signs and symbols that they use to communicate with you all the time, which is like really cool. So stay tuned for that. But remember that everybody has gifts. I was born with mine. I embraced them when I was little, then I suppressed them years later, just kind of felt different from everybody and kind of out there, and was a little bit embarrassed and didn't know how to deal with it. And it's kind of like, Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost. I kind of compare it to that, but don't worry, they're not like, I can't visually see them, okay? I only hear them. I don't have the gift of actually visually seeing them, but I can feel when spirit's by. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. See you in the next video.